Hi there. Well, I hope I've remembered to turn the sound on today. I'm in a field next to the one where we found quite a lot of stuff quite recently. Again, you probably recognise these shocking great pylons everywhere. They're sort of rather beautiful in a way when the sun's out. They're a bit less so when it's not nasty and rainy. I think I'm being very good. I'm not going straight back to the good place yet. I'm going to try this area first. It's one of the things that we often do, isn't it? We stick to where we know is good and neglect everything else. But you've got to try every field at some point, because you never know. Anyway, my first target was a really nice Rose Farthing. Look at that one, that's in exceptional condition. They don't often come up like that, do they? So nothing of any super age, certainly not like the medieval stuff over there, but a very nice find all the same, and it's in beautiful condition. I found a George II halfpenny, another halfpenny, I don't know who it is, probably the same, probably George II too, and a French coin, a Napoleon III. I thought that was French because English milled coins don't have that, the legend written within a sort of circle like that, do they? So that was very, rather obviously French. There you go, you can see him now. So this stuff here, it's really nice. It's just, I'm itching to get back to where I know it's really good. It's nice and sunny, but it's cold. Well, it seems to be predominantly Georgian here at the moment, and I've just dug up, well, I could just see the copper, the dull green copper peeking at me out of the clod. I got really excited. I thought it might be part of a sort of copper fibula or something. It's not, it's much more modern than that, but it's really pretty. It's a buckle fragment, and it's just a really good one. It's a really lovely design. Probably Georgian, I'm guessing. And another very fine little Georgian farthing of sorts, I would have thought. Maybe Charles II, very thin. There's something on it, but not really enough. So I'm going to stick here, and it's been worth it being on this field because we found some fun things. Well, we've been lured back, and I've been quite good by doing a section which is definitely quieter, rather than going straight back to the bit, even though I'm going to go there in a minute. It has been quieter, but I found a couple of quite nice little bits. Quite a nice little buckle, don't know how old it is, but certainly got some age. And a lovely little casket key. Again, I don't know how old these are. I'll have to look it up. I do know that this design is definitely easily identifiable with the sort of little points there. I don't find that many keys. I love finding keys. And I've got something absolutely super down there. I think it's a hammered coin. It rang up really, really bright. It would be brilliant if it is what I think it is, because I've been scouring this quite heavily and there's not a lot here. This will make it all worthwhile. Let's show you how it sounds. Well, not sort of overly sort of bright, but anyway, where was it? It's here. Oh, sorry, Tascals. Sorry, you could have my glove. There you go. Got to stop him chasing his tail, apparently. It will lead to problems in the future, I'm told. Now. Right, it's not a hammered coin, but it may be a button, annoyingly. Well, that's That's made my day. I can go home now. It's either a Celtic or it's a Republican Denarius. Either way, it's nice and thick. It's got a chariot with 3 horses on one side. Gosh, it's clear. And I've had one of these before, so I know what it is. And Rome on the other side. I mean, that is... This was minted 100 years before, if not longer, before Claudius came over in the mid-1st century AD. And I've only ever found one before, and I'm absolutely thrilled. And it's a beauty. Cool. Something very special about Republican silver. I'm afraid you're going to get much of the same angle today because it's very, very windy. Might not look it, but it is. And if my back's to the wind, you're going to hear me much better. If you hear me at all after last week's debacle. Anyway. Now that's nice and bright, but it's not a great area. The funny thing about that silver Roman, the last Republican Denarius I found was in an area where I found nothing else as well. There doesn't seem to be an awful lot around it, just a random drop. I've also found something else. We're going to do a little test in a minute to explain what I was talking about in my last video as well. You won't know about that, Taz, because you weren't there, I'm afraid, were you? Looks like a button or a coin. The Georgian field where we were just now is over there, but there's very few of that here. Rather nice to find something a bit different. Okay, it is. No, Tass, leave it. It's Queen Victoria. How nice. Okay, good. Little Queen Victoria halfpenny. So that's a big historical swing, that, isn't it? Republican Denarius, 1st century BC, and Victoria, 19th century. Gosh, 2,000 years difference. And while we're all here, look what I found. A little lump of coke. Now, I know this isn't the coke fields of North England, which someone said the other day. They said that I wouldn't know what I was talking about because I didn't know, what it was like to detect in really coke-infested areas. Well, I do actually, but that isn't here. Anyway, here we go, look. Now, you can be forgiven for digging this once or twice, but not after that. Tasky, out the way. Good boy, come on. Bit jumpy, quite high-pitched. Tasky, no chasing your tail, no. Got to stop you doing that. But it's quite fuzzy. Tasky, no. As I said, dig it once or twice, but not after that. Now, if you're a Deus Lite user, and you're in one of the programs like Deep, which is very hard, if not impossible, to change the tone breaks, that's going to come up as a really lovely signal. And that's one of the reasons that I use full tones the whole time, because I can distinguish. I might dig it up just once just to see what it is. I'm not going to touch it again after that. Doesn't matter if it's a big bit, little bit. It's just too obvious. But it might not be if you've got a low tone break. That'll probably ring up at, I don't know, what, 30, 40, low 50s? I don't know. I don't have a readout. That's coke. Here endeth the lesson. You can go back in the ground and fool someone else. Now this is why you've got to dig the really dull signals, because not everything's going to be silver and high pitched. Low and boring, but it's actually a really sweet little buckle, completely charming. I mean, I do sometimes ignore signals like that if they're all over the place and they're little tiny bits of lead, but you know, it's not all over the place just in this section, even though what there is has been really nice, but that's completely, I'm thrilled with that. It's a really nice one. Tasky, come on! Drop. Good boy. Well, I wasn't getting too excited about this, as it was very dull sounding, but I thought I'd better dig it anyway. And it's a little cut half. So I've come back to the good section of this field, and obviously there's not as much here because I've been over it fairly recently, but lovely just to find little bits and pieces like this still. More medieval silver. It's a long cross, Civitas, I can read. One of the Edwards, I'm sure. Still here, it's still here. Well, I think this is just a buckle fragment, but it definitely looks like it's got some age to it. You would have thought if it were Georgian, it would have some sort of design on it, but it's very plain, very bronzy, very tactile. And yeah, I mean, I reckon that, what do you think? Quite a nice little thing. There's some scratch marks on it, but I don't think it's design. Yeah, I like that. Well, I'm getting a little bit hungry. Well, that's nice and bright. It's a bit cartridgey, if I'm being very honest. Just a tiny little button. Quite a few of those in here. Nothing to see here. Move on, please. Tasks. But it's something we missed last time I was here, so I mean, I'm going over these tracks again. Red kite. Tasky. You can't get them, they're too far. Leave it. Well, I found a load of buttons, a pot mend, a big bit of bronze, looks probably like part of a pot leg. So there's still stuff here, but I haven't completely been able to concentrate since finding that silver Roman. So, I mean, it's been an amazing day. And we've got one more signal here, which I'm going to dig and then call it a day. I mean, I suspect that's a button as well. I don't know why we're finding so many buttons here. Why wasn't I finding them the first time? Maybe I was just digging better signals, who knows? Can you see Tasks? He's been really good today. Lucky charm. Well, that's bright. Come on, Taz, what's here? Wind's died down. Not as cold as it was. Been a really lovely day. And I have just found a Little bit of lead with a hole in it. That's got some age to it. It's got to have, hasn't it? Is it part of a spindle wall? I suspect so. Might even have some decoration on. No, I don't think so. So, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.